This is my Druid life. Three months or so ago I said, see you next week, and then next week never came. If you want to know why that is, you'll have to wait for H for health. And yes, that is a hint. Druids celebrate 8 seasonal festivals spread equally around the year. We get together in our communities 8 times a year to make ritual and celebrate the changes in the seasons. So F is for festivals. Many people feel that time just rushes past them. So having a moment to reflect on the changes in the seasons 8 times a year helps us get in tune with the flow of nature and open ourselves to the particular flavour of Arwen that flows through that season. The elements we use in ritual reflect what is going on in nature and help us attune with the seasons. Two different kinds of festivals alternate around the wheel of the year. One marks the solar year and the way that light and dark alternate throughout the seasons. The other marks the pastoral year and the way our ancestors would take care of their animals. The origins of these festivals are truly ancient. There are many monuments across the islands of Ireland and Britain that are aligned with the seasonal points where the sun is at its highest or its lowest, or the places in between. The most famous of those is probably Stonehenge, that is aligned to both the midwinter and the midsummer sunrises. The other 4 festivals mark moments in the cycle of animal husbandry and the way people would take care of their animals throughout the year. I like to think of the festivals in pairs, opposite each other on the wheel of the year. These festivals are opposites to each other and very different, obviously, but they also give us the opportunity to balance these things and bring them together and integrate different parts of ourselves, which is one of the aims of spiritual practice. One pair is the summer and winter solstice that contrast light and dark, with the light of the summer solstice being bright and the sun at its highest, while at the winter solstice it is very dark and the sun only shines for less than 8 hours a day. The summer solstice is probably a festival best known to the public. Each year you will hear a report on the news about the festivities that are going on at Stonehenge at the sunrise. In that ceremony we celebrate fire in all its aspects, from the heat of the sun to hot springs, and from lava to lightning. At the winter solstice the sun is at its lowest, and the light of the rising sun penetrates through the passage of the Newgrange monument in Ireland and shines right into the middle of it. Traditionally, this festival is celebrated in 2 ceremonies, a nighttime vigil and a celebration of the new light, when a candle is lit, a tiny light in contrast with the greater light of the summer solstice. I see that lighting of a candle and that tiny flame as the new year. The spring and autumn equinox are a balance between growing and moving outwards and receding and moving inwards. The spring equinox is a time of growing light, and from then on the sun is in the sky for the majority of the day. All the plants are coming out of themselves. Leaves are growing on trees, bulbs open and give us daffodils and tulips, and everything is beginning to look much more like spring and light and new life. This is also the time that most of the seeds are sown, and so in our ceremonies we often actually plant a seed and take it home to look after and to see grow into a full-grown plant. The autumn equinox, by contrast, is the time of diminishing light. This time we move inwards And we also harvest everything that we have created that year. And it's also the time that we harvest the produce of our land. So in our ceremony at that time, we celebrate those harvests and bring produce from our gardens into the circle. It is a time for thanksgiving and celebration. The first pair of the pastoral festivals are Imbolc and Lughnasadh. Imbolc is a time when it's still cold and very wintry, and we are like tender little children who are being held and cared for by their mother. While at Lughnasadh time, we are beginning to harvest and have our own creative children to take care of, and we are the mothers of what we tend. At Imbolc the light returns, snowdrops bloom and lambs are born, when we feel great hope for the year to come. In our ceremonies we are blessed by the goddess Bridget with both fire and water. At Lughnasadh we are in the height of summer and the time of the first harvest. The corn is cut and sacrificed so that the people may live. So in our ceremonies we break and share bread. Beltane and Samhain celebrate a pair of essential principles of life: sex and death, the way to create life and the way to end it. At Beltane the world is all verdant greening, every flower opens to be fertilised, and it is the ideal time of year to celebrate sexuality both in nature and in ourselves. For our ancestors this was the time that animals were taken out to pasture, and before they left they would be passed between a pair of blazing fires so that they would be purified and ready to go out into their freer life on the meadows. So in our ceremonies of Beltane, we erect a maypole and dance around it, and we pass through the Beltane fires. At Samhain, nature is dying back. The leaves are falling and returning to the earth. Our ancestors would bring back the animals that had been out in pasture all summer, and they would decide which ones they would be able to afford to feed all through winter, and which ones would be slaughtered to be food for the people. Winter used to be a dangerous time when death came easily. So in our ceremonies we honour death, and we honour the ancestors that have gone before us. What festivals do you mark throughout the year? How do you celebrate them? And what is your favourite festival? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed watching this video, click like and subscribe if you want to see the rest of the alphabet superset of Druidry. If you would like to know more about how these 8 festivals correspond to the cycles of the moon and to our own human creativity, please watch my first video. Thank you very much for watching, I appreciate you all, and I'll see you next week, fingers crossed, for the G for gods.